All right, guys, what's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of G.A.R Capital. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join me this morning. It is Friday, January 14th, 2022. Let's go ahead and talk about the market, shall we? Before we begin, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, little white logo. Turn notifications, subscribe to our channel, like our videos, please. Please hit the like button if you like these videos daily. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. And make sure to comment any of your questions. I'll be happy to answer anything you got. Today, got my Cowboys shirt. I got this from the store, NFL shop. Big game on Sunday. We're playing the 49ers. I'm nervous, but I'm confident. Fingers crossed. We do have the Masterclass giveaway if this team right here wins a Super Bowl. I know, far-fetched, but crazy things have happened in the NFL. So you just have to believe. You just have to take it one game at a time. Back to the markets. All right. Dow Futures down 300 points. NASDAQ down 144 points, down 0.94%. S&P down 0.87%. The Russell's down 1.16% this morning. Yields falling as well, testing that 1.7 level, 1.708. Let's take a look at the dollar. Dollar is up slightly, 94.92. The VIX spiked again above 20. Remember what we were talking about that last night on the market recap. Now we're starting to see if we could test those lows. So again, you could see the lows here right around 4,600. I'm going to not put the alert there, but really my alert is 4,600, 45.72. I gave some of the team the unusual options activity on some Apple puts, the 170s for next week. It is down pre-market slightly. If we get a little bit of a flush, we maybe just catch that. Keep in mind, next Monday, there is no market. Market's closed for Martin Luther King holiday. So again, you have a short week next week. So again, just be careful. But again, looking at the market right now, we did have some bank earnings. Retail sales was a miss. I'll go over that with you here in a second. And with that being said, let me go and finish up what else is moving today. Crude oil is up slightly, 82.22 a barrel, $2.39 for gasoline futures up 0.58%. Gold futures are up 18.26, 0.28% to the upside, 23.07 for silver futures down 0.38%. Euro dollars down 14 pips, 114.41, 113.50 for the dollar yen. That's down 0.57%, 65 pips. Again, I've been talking about that. Remember, the leading indicator has been crypto. Ethereum is down nearly 2%, 3,200 on futures, 42,185 for Bitcoin. Let's see if it holds that 40,000 level. That seems to be that support right now. Next support will probably be around 31,000. Okay, so let's go over some of the news here this morning. Let's take a look here at retail sales. Retail sales missed month over month, negative 1.9% versus the forecast of negative 0.1%. Huge miss. U.S. core retail sales, this is including food and gas, down 2.3%. Forecast was actually positive 0.1. Last one was positive 0.3. So again, not really great news, obviously. So taking a look here at some of the reports from the market in terms of banks. Citibank did beat earnings. They did miss on revenue slightly. Consumer banking revenue was down 6% year over year. Institutional client revenues were up 4% year over year. And fixed income trading, that's bond trading. Remember, I always tell you guys in Wall Street, they trade bonds mostly, not stocks. Their revenue was down 20% year over year. We'll take a look at the price action there. JPM CFO stated, started to see a pickup in loan growth, seeing positive indicators on card and C&I lending, consumer and institutional lending on the media call. Next here we have Wells Fargo. No, let's see, that's just guidance. Let me go ahead and retweet that. Wells Fargo reports $1.08 versus $1.09 adjusted. Adjusted EPS includes 18 cents per share net gain on the sales of our CTS business and Wells Fargo Asset Management of 17 cents a share, decrease in the allowance for credit losses, negative 0.5 cents a share, impairment of certain leased rail costs. JPM quarter for $2.86, excluding net credit reserve release versus $2.98 in earnings. So that's a miss. But they did beat on corporate and investment bank revenue, up 2% year over year. Banking revenue, $5.27 billion, up 28% year over year. Market investor services, $6.3 billion, down 13% year over year. Wells Fargo also reported here, let's see, $1.38 versus $1.09. That's a beat. They beat on revenue. Let's see, net interest margin, 2.11 versus 2.03% year over year. JPM also reports Q4. So again, this is excluding the net reserve release, but including the net reserve release, $3.33 versus $2.98. Managed revenue, $30.4 billion versus $29.9 billion. Assets under management is up $3.1 trillion versus $2.7 trillion year over year. So let's take a look at the price action on some of these earnings. Kind of mixed, mind you, kind of mixed there. You see JPM, again, down pre-market. And it's now at 160, so we're right at the 200-day. Not a bad place to go if you want to buy, but I prefer to wait for 145. I am a shareholder of JPM. Let's take a look at Citi here on the hourly. Again, 65.20 looks to probably hit that $64 200-day moving average on the hourly. So it's 65.23. So basically, you're right around here on this yellow line, right near it, which is the 50-day moving average. So again, if you want to buy Citi, I'd probably wait for that level. JPM's and Citibank's earnings weren't horrific or bad, but again, not amazing either. So again, they're still cheap in terms of valuation. So again, I talk about earnings a lot, but again, I really want to see the growth high beta names with their earnings. Are they justified with their revenues and their profits? Do their valuations, are their valuations worth it in the sense? Do they make sense based on their earnings? So again, banks, we know they're already cheap in terms of PE multiple. Citibank is extremely cheap on PE multiple. So again, Wells Fargo is still at a breakout level. They're up pre-market. So again, Wells Fargo has been the one to trade if you're a banker, a bank trader. JPM has been good too. I think Goldman Sachs will be next week. But again, short week next week. Starting to get a little bit of a bounce here on E-mini futures. Nothing crazy, but 4,600 is a big psychological level. If that breaks with a 20 above VIX, we'll test those Monday lows around 45.75. We should bounce off that. If we don't, then 45.20 is coming. If 4,600 does break, keep in mind that you still just have about 20 points or so for a little bit of less room to the downside. If that happens, I will probably get out of the longs, get out of puts there, and then see if it does break 45.75. If that does happen, then 45.20 is coming. Maybe you could squeeze out maybe 40 or 50 points if you're scalping futures. But again, you're starting to get to the point here, right around below 4,600. You only have about 20 more. So again, 45.80 seems to be the level. So I wouldn't scalp anything here in terms of futures. Maybe there's some puts there on some NASDAQ names, some tech names. Microsoft was down yesterday. Apple was down yesterday. So again, kind of keep an eye for possible next week if we do break. But more than likely, we could bounce off these levels too, because that was the Monday lows. So again, that's something that we're going to watch for. Again, the retail sales did not help with that. So good morning. Let's go. Hopefully O shows up. What are your thoughts on Disney up or down movement? Disney was just downgraded. So you could see they are down pre-market. I love Disney long term. I'm a big Disney fan. So again, I'm waiting for right around 140 to buy some more. But again, 163.47 for a break and see if you can fill that gap. But again, I do like Disney long term. Also, what stock picks do you think are best to take advantage of the recent rate hikes? Banks and industrials are your best bet. Energy is helpful too. So those three industries, if you're looking for a play in terms of rising rates, it's more likely going to be financials the way you want to go. Do you expect sell-off in the market to continue the recent weeks? Well, here's the deal. Again, we know we're going to have a correction of about 10%. So that's right around 4,400 S&P. So I'm holding on to some cash, waiting to get into some stocks there. We don't have a drop yet. All we're doing is retesting Monday's lows. It's what it looks like. But granted, we're only just about 180 points from all-time highs. Not exactly a correction, not a bear market. Again, just some volatility. Not a lot of good news coming out as of yet. But again, the big thing is earnings. That's what we need to see. Where are some high beta names? I mean, for example, you have Space, you have Neo, Square, PayPal, DraftKings, Penn, Pinterest, Snapchat. Those names are high beta. Are we going to get a bounce over the weekend into next week? Well, short week, we don't know. But again, if we do tap, let's say 4,600 or 45.87 or 45.85 and bounce, we should continue to strength for next weekend. That's actually pretty healthy when you actually retest the bottom and actually bounce back up. This problem would be a retest of the lows and a break of the lows. So again, kind of hard to predict what the market will do when there's not a lot of good news yet, but we do have earnings coming. So that's kind of the great equalizer. Do you anticipate Apple to be going down for the time being? Until earnings, it's going to be volatile at the end of the day. So again, it's pretty much just all technicals there. Are you holding FUBU? I am holding FUBU. Are the earnings already priced in? No, because we saw with JPM and Citi that they aren't. So no, they are not priced in. When will inflation data and the Fed meet next month? If we're looking for a raise in hike in rates, the earliest it would be in March. That'd be the Fed meeting they're looking for. And are you planning to buy into Microsoft? Microsoft, let's see it. Microsoft right below 300, I'll be buying. Yep, that'll be the level. Actually, 300 is not bad. I wouldn't go full tilt on Microsoft at 300 because I'm expecting a 10% correction. I think Microsoft's great no matter what. Again, just had some bad price action. 290, 300 seems about right. So there we go. But again, really what I'm looking at today is really just the VIX. I'm looking at the dollar. I'm looking at yields. I'm looking at right here 4,600 on S&P. I want to see if NASDAQ taps these lows as well. And if it does, then we'll see. But again, we need the VIX to be below 20 to be kind of an all clear signal. So we'll see what we get this morning and we'll go from there. But again, it's a short week next week. So again, try not to put too much risk on the table as well because you're getting 1 day off in terms of the market session. So we'll leave it at that. So later on today, I'll do the aftermarket recap. I'll give some of my NFL picks. If you guys are interested, I like to do that stuff and we'll track it and see how we go. Have a great rest of your morning. GARcapitalfx.com is the website. Thank you so much for watching. And are there any headwinds next week? For next week, I'd have to take a look at the earnings report, at the economic calendar. I'll send that out on Instagram or on Twitter and we'll go from there. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.